Who is the mysterious new Hawkeye leading a solo crusade against the Roxxon Corporation? Can Iron Lad recruit them to their team? Or is this new Archer too much of a loose cannon? Well, let's hop into the pages of Ultimates issue number 5 and find out together, shall we? So then, this issue wastes absolutely no time getting started as we're treated to dueling quotes from history. The first one is from famous native leader and warrior Sitting Bull talking about how he dreams of a future wherein everyone can sit together under the same tree of life as one. The other quote is from the 26th President of the United States, Teddy Roosevelt, who basically says, fuck all those guys. Man, history really did whittle him down to just the gems, huh? Now, as the comic actually officially starts, Iron Lad Tony Stark is looking over a bunch of footage on the news at the Triskelion. It would seem that the Roxxon Energy Corporation, which is just as evil and just as bad for the planet in this universe as any other, keeps coming under attack by some mystery assailant. They've had their pipelines exploded, their worker camps disrupted, and basically someone really has it out for them in a big bad way. Here's the problem though, this mystery individual is using the special aero-based fabrication weapon system that the Ultimates had planned to offer Clint Barton Hawkeye. If you'll recall, he was actually one of the first people they tried to recruit for this new team to battle the Maker, but in a surprising twist, Clint didn't want the costume or identity. In fact, he threw it in the garbage, much like Spider-Man did in the famous Spider-Man No More page. Meaning that they got someone completely new who scooped up this advanced technology and is using it for their own purposes. Tony is worried because this new person actually ranks pretty low on the hero index. Yes, that's right, Iron Lad has created an entire hero index, and doesn't want to see more of his technology fall into the hands of potential villains like it already has over in the Ultimate Spider-Man book, which is of course kind of ironic to me when we stop to remember that Hawkeye actually did begin his life as a villain in the main 616 universe. The big rub is that everyone else on the Ultimates team is busy right now on other missions, meaning that Captain America is going to have to go and deal with this brand new Hawkeye in person. And needless to say, this native crusader striking back at evil oil companies for defiling the lands, as well as murdering and arresting the local native people anytime they try and protest. Yeah, seeing the literal embodiment of America come to collect them doesn't exactly put these two off on the right foot. Okay, but who exactly is this new Hawkeye who is currently leading a solo mission against the evil forces of Roxxon? Well, as we learn, their name is Charlie Ramsey, and I do mean they when I say that. The book doesn't say it outright, but all of the different interviews have revealed that Charlie is actually a non-binary individual, which actually makes a ton of sense if you know the history of indigenous people, as well as the history of two-spirits as a concept. Basically, to make a long story short, Aboriginal groups have always been more progressive when it comes to LGBT people. In fact, that attitude basically went unchallenged forever until the times of colonization, and you guessed it, the introduction of the church. Hawkeye and Cap find themselves embroiled in a massive battle, which serves as a nice little showcase for all the brand new arrows this Hawkeye comes packing. Cap does a great job keeping up, though it's made abundantly clear that Steve is more interested in talking than fighting right now, and I mean, really, why shouldn't he? He's going through his own big issues right now, returning to a country that he no longer recognizes and basically doesn't exist. Where new Hawkeye is basically saying, hey, even before the Maker completely rewrote reality to his whim, enough of the old America still existed to screw me and mine over. Charlie also keeps calling Steve a cowboy too, which I find particularly funny. Apparently Charlie's father loved old Western movies, and as such, so do they. Even though, as Charlie says, those stories almost always ended up being the same, cowboys killing Indians over and over again. Because even in a world that has been so thoroughly remade down to the atoms, Charlie and his people, the Lakota, can never seem to find a world made for them. But what changed for Charlie, you might be wondering? Hawkeye claims to have had a sacred vision, a young man bathed in light, revealing to him secret truths. Of course, Cap is quick to say, yeah, that was just Tony's hologram you saw, only for Hawkeye to reveal, yeah, I know that, I'm not stupid, I know what a hologram is, but it was important to me, I took it to be a sacred vision, a call to action. Sometimes the receiver is more important than the message, you know? Ultimately, the fight between new Hawkeye and Cap has to be put on hold as they both end up getting accosted by a couple hundred mercenaries sent in by Roxxon. In fact, these guys are sporting very familiar looking skull masks. This means that Cap and Hawkeye are forced to valiantly basically fight side by side in order to save their own skin, and indeed it's proven what Tony said earlier, that someone with proper training and these Hawkeye weapons could easily stand up to an entire army. In fact, maybe it's fate, as Charlie says their government name is Charlie Ramsey, but their spirit name is Charlie Hawkeyes. After the fight is ended and Steve feels pretty confident about this new Hawkeye's ability, he even works up the courage to ask, is it true? Is your native name really Hawkeyes? Only for Charlie to end the issue by saying, no, you white people are so gullible. And so that was Ultimates issue number 5, everybody, and I'm glad I found the time to circle back and read this issue before the new one, issue 6, drops this week. Overall, I'd say I dig this new Hawkeye. They have a lot going on for them, and they're basically everything that Clint wasn't. They're a little hard-edged, they're kind of a smart-ass. This is also a nice bit of organic growth for Captain America, too. Remember, he hasn't been out of the ice all that long, just had to come to terms with the fact that the America he remembers hasn't existed for a long time. But just because of that, also has to remember that a lot of the old original horrors of history still ended up happening one way or another. Also, I forgot to mention in the video proper, but we also see DaCosta show up again. Apparently, he's a major stakeholder in the Roxxon Corporation, meaning that, yeah, you guessed it, they're also tied to the Maker's secret cabal. I mention this because it also continues to paint a rather interesting picture of this Ultimates group as a team. Yeah, some of them are in here to do right because it's the right thing to do, but a lot of them only really joined the quote-unquote superhero life because they have very deep and personal vendettas against the Maker's cabal and how they managed to mess up their own personal lives. Overall, I feel comfortable giving this one another very positive 8 out of 10, and I'll be interested to see how this first arc ends up finishing off, as the next issue promises a big fight between this new Ultimates team and the evil Hulk. Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.